Hello boys and girls, welcome to this presentation. In this video, we're going to talk about the rest of the questions in Unit 1 revision. Question 26. Write each number in standard form. Now, to write a number in standard form, you need to know the steps or the correct steps of doing this. Now, here, we have to know the meaning of standard form. Now, we said that a standard form is what? It's a number between 1 and 10. Let's write the rule here. It has to be between 1 and 10 multiplied by a 10 with a power. Now, here in question A, we have 820. Now, to make this a standard form number, we have to know where is the decimal point. Now, for a number like this without a decimal point, the decimal point always stays at the end of the number, next to the units. Now, I need to move the point to make the number between 1 and 10. So, I'll move it like this, 1, 2. So, I moved it 2 times to this side, which is the positive number side, or the positive side. And then I write the number, which is 8.2 multiplied by 10. Now, I want to know what is the power. The power is the movement and the signal of the side, or the side that you move the decimal to. So it's positive 2. Very good. 2. I don't write positive. I will write 2 only. Now, for question B, the same idea. You're going to make it in standard form. So you have to make it between 1 and 10. So we have a decimal point here. We're going to move it. If I see a decimal point, I don't put a decimal point here. This is not good, because here we don't have a decimal point. That's why I put it. But here I have a decimal point, so I don't put another decimal point. Now I'm going to move this decimal point to put the number, or to make the number between 1 and 10. Let's move it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make it 9.15. Very good. Now, after making it 9.15, I moved the decimal point to this side. So this is the negative side. Now, to find the power, we're going to use the negative side and the number of movements. So it's negative. How many times did I move? Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be negative 5. So times 10 power of negative 5. So the idea is what? Moving the decimal point to make the number between 1 and 10. And then, depending on the side that you move to, you're going to put the positive or negative sign next to the power. And the times you moved the decimal point will decide what is the power. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, this is a 10, so you won't be confused. As I said, that a number must be between 1 and 10 multiplied by a 10 with a power to say it is a standard form. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 27. Put these numbers in order from the smallest to the largest. Now, to put numbers in order, you have first to take a look at the numbers and check if they have the same idea or form. Now, when I look at these numbers, I can see that all of them in standard form. So I can put them in order without any problems, because standard forms can be ordered by using their powers. But if they have the same powers, I'm going to look at these numbers. But if they don't have the same powers, I can order them easily using the powers. Now, they want it from the smallest, so I'm going to start with the smallest number. Now let's take a look at the numbers again. The smallest number has a negative power with the largest number, because on the timeline here, you can see, you can take the powers and put them on the timeline. Now, the last one has a power of 1, of course, but we don't write power of 1. So we're going to take the powers and put them on the timeline, so we will know what is the first one or the smallest one. So we have power of 1 here, power of 2, power of 3, depending on the timeline, negative 2, and negative 4. So The smallest number starts from here, and then it goes this way to become larger. So which one is the smallest? Very good. The one that has -4 on it. So -4 is number 1. And then the next one is -2, so this one. And then 1, which is this one. And then 2, which is this one. And then power of 3, which is the last one. So I used the line or the line number to order these powers. I start from the smallest, which is the negative power with the largest number. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to question 28. Question 28. Work out each calculation. Give your answers in standard form. Now, as we said, work out means use the calculator and then put it in standard form. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this using the calculator. First thing you do is what? Take a look at the question here. Because this line is line of division, so I'm going to use these and divide them. So 8.8 divide 2.2. And the answer? Very good, it's 4. So I'm going to write 4 here. And then multiplied by what? And then I'm going to divide these. And when you divide the same base numbers with powers, you're gonna subtract the powers. Very good. So 8 minus 3 equals 5. So it's going to be 10 power of 5. And when I look at the answer, is it in standard form? Very good. It is in standard form. Now I completed this calculation. Now let's check question B. In question B, we're going to do the same but multiplying. We're going to multiply the first one here by the first one here. And then I'm going to multiply the tens with powers together. And when you multiply the same base number, you're going to add the powers. Now first let's multiply 2.5 by 5. So 2.5 times 5 equals 12.5. I'm going to write it here, 12.5. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to multiply the tens with the powers. And because I'm multiplying, I'm going to add the powers. So 4 minus 7 equals what? Very good. It's going to be 10 power of minus 3. And it's minus because, or negative because the bigger number has the negative sign. Now, I look at my answer. Is it in standard form? Very good. It's not. This number is not in standard form. Why not? Because this number is bigger than 10. And standard form must be between 1 and 10. Now, I want to make it in standard form. So I'm going to take the decimal point here and move it to this side one time. And the number will be 1.25 times 10. Now, I want to know the power of the movement. The movement was to this side, which is the positive side. So I'm going to add. And how many times did I move? Very good. 1 time. So I'm going to add 1 here. So it's going to be -3 plus 1. And when you put it in the calculator, it's going to be -2. Now, I turned it into standard form. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to question 29. Question 29. Work out each calculation. Give your answers in standard form. This one is the same as 28. Same ideas. You're going to multiply or divide depending on the question. Let's do it together. Now here, same idea. We're going to multiply this by this and write our answer. And then we're going to multiply the tens with the powers and add the powers because we're multiplying. Now let's do the first one here. Now 1.505 multiplied by 8.3 equals 12.4. 12.4915. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same with the powers, tens with the powers. We have 10 power of -9 and 10 power of 4. So when we multiply, we add the powers. Very good. So I'm gonna add this to this, and when you do it in the calculator, it's going to be negative 5. So negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So 10 power of negative 5. Very good. Now I take a look at this answer. Is it in standard form? Very good. It's not. So I have to make it standard. Now to make this standard, I'm going to move the decimal point to this side one time. Very good. And it's going to be 1.24915 multiplied by 10 with a power. Now the power is what? Very good. Because I moved to the positive side here, I'm going to add the movements, which is 1. So it's going to be plus 1 here. So negative 5 plus 1 equals what? Very good. It's negative 4. Good job. Now, the next one, we're going to do the same. We have 48.96, and then we have 5.1. We're going to divide them and write the answer. So 48.96 divide 5.1 equals 9.6. So the answer will be 9.6. Very good. And then we have the tens with the powers, 10 power of 3 and 10 power of negative 3. And when you divide, you're going to subtract the powers. So I'm going to subtract 3 minus 3. So I put minus between them. And minus means plus. So 3 plus 3 equals what? Very good. It's 6. So it's going to be times 10 power of 6. So 3 minus 3 is 3 plus 3. And 3 plus 3 is 10 power of 6. And this is how you answer a question like this. So you have to focus on the calculations and you have to focus on the standard form. Now let's move on to question 30. Write as a single power. Now writing as a single power is so easy. If you're multiplying the same base numbers, for example this one, you're multiplying the same base numbers, you're going to take the powers and add them. So the answer will be the same base number and you just add the powers. So 3 plus minus 4 is going to be what? Very good. It's going to be minus 1. So when you have an answer like this, because the question is right as a single power, it means they need this answer. Don't put it in the calculator and find the answer, okay? Now, this is the final answer, so it's good. Now, the next one, we have 3 power of negative 4 and 3 power of negative 2, and they are divided. So we said if they are multiplied, we're going to add the powers. But if they are divided, we're going to subtract the powers. So we're going to take this power and subtract them. Now, first we put the same base number, which is 3, and then we say minus 4 minus 2. So minus 4 minus 2, when you put it in the calculator like this, minus means plus. So this one means plus. So it's going to be 3, and negative 4 plus 2 equals negative 2. And this is the final answer. Very good. So focus on dividing. So dividing here means what? It means subtracting the powers. But multiplying means adding the powers. Very good. And subtract means put the negative sign here between them. Now, the next one here is C. We have something called power of a power. Power of a power. So if you have power of a power, it means you're going to multiply the power. Now, some people don't understand this. So let me break this for you, okay? If you have 7 power of negative 3 squared, it means you have 7 power of negative 3 multiplied by 7 power of negative 3. And because you're multiplying, you're going to add the powers. So negative 3 plus negative 3 equals, very good, negative 6. So it's going to be 7 power of negative 6. Or you can say from the beginning, negative 3 times negative 2. So the answer will be 7 power of negative 6. So both ways are good. Whatever you like, you can use, as long as you understand the idea. So if you have power of power, you just write the same base number and multiply the powers. Now let's move on to question D here. Same idea, but with more steps. Now with this question, you're going to answer what's on top first and write it here, and then answer the ones in the denominator and write it here. So let's start with the ones in the numerator, which is on top. So here we have 4 power of negative 4 and 4 power of negative 2, and it's divided. So dividing means what? It means we subtract the powers. Very good. We write the same base number and we subtract the powers. So it's going to be 4 minus 2 minus minus here is plus. So it's going to be negative 4 plus 2. And negative 4 plus 2 equals negative 2. Very good. And then in the denominator here, same idea. We're going to write the same base number. And then because it's multiplied here, what do we do with the powers? Very good. We're going to add the powers. So it's going to be what? Multiplying means adding the power. So negative 1 and negative 1 is going to be negative 2. Good. Now, to continue the question here, we have the same numbers up or in the denominator and numerator. It means you simplify them together and you get 1 as a final answer. But if you want to answer it in another way, it will give you the same, but let me show you how using the powers. Now here we are dividing. This is dividing. So because we are dividing, we're going to subtract the powers. So the answer will be the same base number with the powers subtracted. So I'm going to write negative here. So it's going to be negative 2 subtract negative 2. So I'm going to write it here, negative 2 minus negative 2. Now, negative means what? Very good, it means positive. So negative 2, positive 2, or plus 2 equals what? Equals 0. Very good. And any number with a power of 0 equals what? Good job. It equals 1. So it gave me the same answer. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.